Hey guys, this is Stacy from EatTheBite.com, and today I'm making a delicious Persian dish called Fesenjoon or Fesenjan, which is a pomegranate and walnut stew, also known as a Khoresh, which we're going to serve with saffron rice. It's got just a few ingredients to prep. We're going to roast some walnuts in the oven, slice a large onion, remove the skin and fat from some chicken thighs. We'll grind our cooled walnuts in a food processor. We'll add them to a large pot with a bottle of pomegranate molasses and some water. We're going to let that cook for about 2 hours. Then we'll add a little sugar, cinnamon sticks, and orange peel to the stew, our browned chicken and onion, a little bit of saffron water here, let it cook another hour, and we are going to serve this over saffron rice and garnish with some pomegranate seeds. So, let me show you how to make it. There are 2 stars to this dish. First is the pomegranate molasses, and I used the 10-ounce bottle, and the second is a 1-pound bag of walnuts. We're going to start by spreading out the walnuts onto a sheet pan and roasting them in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 to 15 minutes. Then we want to let them completely cool before grinding them. Next up, you'll need 1 large onion, and all we're doing is cutting this in half and then slicing it into thin strips like you see here. Then we'll just set that aside. I'm using chicken thighs because I love the flavor and they can handle the longer cook time. We're going to start by ripping off the top layer of skin of all the chicken thighs. And if you've got gloves on hand, go ahead and use those. Then once we've got all the fat, you can just discard that. Next, I'll take my kitchen shears and I want to trim the fat around the edges and underneath as well. I also have a great tutorial video about how to trim the fat from chicken thighs, and I will leave a link to that below. Once we've cut all the fat from the chicken thighs, the walnuts should be cooled down by then. So I'm going to take those and add them into my food processor. We're going to grind those for a minute or two, and they should look about like this when you're done. We don't want to grind them too long or they'll become walnut butter. Next, we're going to transfer the ground walnuts into a large pot. Then we're going to add a whole bottle of the pomegranate molasses. Like I said, I used a 10-ounce bottle. Then we're going to add some water too, and I usually fill up the pomegranate bottle with the water, then transfer the water into my measuring cup. Then we'll pour that right into our pot. Obviously, we're going to give this a good stir here until everything is well combined. Then we are going to cover the pot and keep this on low to medium heat for about 2 hours. And you should stir this throughout the cooking process to make sure the ingredients are not sticking to the bottom of the pan and burning. Turn the heat down if that starts happening. I like to put a little orange peel in my Fesenjoon, but this is totally optional. Once I've got all my orange peels done, I'm going to put them in a little ramekin. Next is the saffron. I'm using saffron from Iran, but you can find saffron in most grocery stores or Middle Eastern markets. I'm going to make 2 separate ramekins for the saffron water. I couldn't find my mortar and pestle to grind it, so I pinched the saffron with my fingers a bit, and then I'm going to add that to a little bit of water. We'll do that twice, and now I'm going to set these aside and let them steep, which you can already see happening. You want to plan your time here, and when the pomegranate and walnut mixture is near the 2-hour mark, we're going to season our chicken with some salt, turn the pieces over, and then hit it with some more salt on the other side as well. I've also got butter and olive oil in a large pan on medium heat, and I'm going to start placing my chicken thighs in the pan. We want to get them browned a bit, so we're going to cook them probably for about 5 to 7 minutes. And as you're waiting, don't forget to continue stirring the pomegranate molasses and walnut mixture as well. Run your spatula along the bottom of that pot and make sure nothing is sticking there. Next, we are going to go ahead and turn the chicken pieces over, and we'll cook them a couple more minutes after that. Then I'm going to remove those from the pan and just set them aside. Next, we're going to keep that olive oil and butter in the pan and add the onions right in there. You want to give the onions a good stir to coat. We're going to cook those about 8 to 10 minutes until they're soft and also browned a bit. Then we're going to remove those from the pan, and I usually just stick them right on top of the chicken, which I've got on a sheet pan. Then once we're at the 2-hour mark with the pomegranate molasses and walnuts, we're going to remove that lid. Give it one final stir here, and it should be this incredible dark brown color at this point, and the smell is also absolutely amazing. I'm going to add a little bit of sugar here to balance out that tartness of the pomegranate. A couple of cinnamon sticks, broken in half, and the orange peels. Then I'm just going to give that a good mix to combine. And now it is time to add the chicken and onions to the pot. And you want to make sure you get all the juices from the sheet pan as well. It's all going in the pot, and it's a lot. So just carefully push the chicken down and make sure everything is in there. This is also a good time, once you've got all the chicken pushed down, to add a little bit of water to thin out the stew a bit if you need to. I don't always need to, but sometimes I do. So we added that little bit of water in there, and now just gently stir everything around until it looks about like this. I'll also add half the saffron water from one of my ramekins now, and I'll add the other half at the end of the cooking process. Just give it one final stir here, and the chicken will need to cook for about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes on low to medium heat. And again, you should stir the stew throughout the cooking process and turn the chicken pieces as well, so some of the pieces at the top get rotated to the bottom. Once the Fesenjoon is finished, you can add the remaining saffron water. You can do this in the last 10 minutes of cooking or just after you've removed it from the heat like I'm doing here. Just mix the saffron into the stew and then set it aside. I had some extra long basmati rice cooking in my rice steamer, so I'm giving that a stir. I'm going to go ahead and take out a couple of cups of the cooked rice. We're going to add some of that gorgeous saffron water from the other saffron water we had going. Mix it with a spoon until all the rice is coated, and it's a beautiful yellow color like you see here. I'll plate one portion so you can see what that looks like, and then what the larger rice platter will look like too. I transferred the rest of the rice onto a plate. You can use a plate, a platter, or a bowl here. Then I'm going to spoon the saffron coated rice on top of the white rice. And before serving it, I will also sprinkle some pomegranate seeds on top of the rice as well. For my Eat the Bite plate, I'll spoon the stew on top of the rice and make sure you've got some of that awesome gravy. And this is optional, but you can also garnish these plates with pomegranate seeds, which I think makes a beautiful presentation. So here is our amazing plate of Persian Fesenjoon, a pomegranate and walnut stew. I really hope you give this one a try. It is such a delicious meal, and it's perfect for serving a group of people. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.